Hello, I'm Lanny Neely III. I'm the creator of a card game tentatively called Royal Pest Control. In this game, the queen has gone on holiday, and you as her caretakers have accidentally let an abundance of animals into the gardens. Now you must lure them out before she returns. At the end of the game, the queen arrives and assesses who has collected the best beast. Whoever has the most points wins. It's a game about hand management and some set collection, and it lasts about 15 to 30 minutes for 2 to 5 players. So let me show you how it's played. Players take turns collecting the best beasts from the garden. Each animal has a point value, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. If you look at the top left of the squirrel, for example, it's worth 2 points, and at the top left of the elk, it's worth 5 points. The center area is the garden shared among all the players. Players take turns collecting the animals by spending bait. The squirrel, for example, eats any kind of bait: roots, grass, berries, and meat, as indicated by the bait icons on the bottom of his card. The elk, for example, only eats grass. So how do you collect an animal? Collecting an animal depends on where they are in the garden. For example, the elk is in the day garden. In the day garden, it requires 3 of whatever bait that animal eats to collect. So to collect the elk, I would need to spend 3 grass. To collect the squirrel, I would need to spend 4 grass, or 4 of any other singular type of bait. I cannot mix and match meats with berries, with grasses or roots. It wouldn't be a garden with just 2 animals, though. The garden should always have 6 animals available, 3 in the day garden and 3 in the night garden. Most animals have unique quirks. For example, when the lynx appears in the gardens swap, changing the bait cost for all of the animals. The fox has a variable point value. The fox is worth as many animals as you own, including itself. So if you only own the fox, it's worth 1 point. The toad has a reduced bait cost. So in the day garden, where an animal normally costs 3 bait, the toad only costs 2. And some animals, like the rat, come with a bait icon in the top right that shows you how many bait you earn whenever you collect that animal. So this rat will give you 2 bait upon collection. Most quirks are explained at the bottom of the card. So how do you collect animals? On your turn, you can discard bait equal to the value of the cost of the animals in the garden, and depending on which bait it eats, as indicated on the bottom of the card. So for example, I could spend 3 grass, because it's in the day garden, to purchase the squirrel. I discard the bait into the compost or discard pile, and then collect the squirrel. When an animal is collected, it's immediately replaced by the top animal of the animal deck. How do you get more bait? On your turn, instead of collecting an animal, you may draw the top card from the compost pile. Or you can discard a card into the discard pile and collect 2 bait from the bait deck. Some animals can give you bait, like the rat, which always carries 2 bait with it, will give you 2 bait when you collect it. Or the swan, which gives everyone 1 free bait when it arrives. On your turn, you may only do 1 action. So far we have collect an animal by discarding bait, collect 1 bait from the compost pile, or gamble by putting down 1 bait into the compost pile and collecting 2. But there's another action you can take. Each player has 1 trap available to them. When they place a trap on an animal, that animal becomes reserved and can only be collected by the owner of that trap. To use a trap, you must use 2 bait, and these bait must be fragrant, but they don't have to be the same type of bait. You can see that all bait has either a normal type or a fragrant type. To use the trap, you discard the 2 fragrant bait, place the trap on the animal, and now only you can purchase that animal. When it comes time to collect the animal, the cost has been reduced by 2 bait because you've already paid that installment to place the trap. The fox, for example, used to cost 3, because it was in the day garden, but now it only costs 1 because I already paid 2 to place the trap. So I can spin this 1 route to collect the fox and get my trap back to my hand. So when does the game end? When you go to refill the garden with a new animal and the queen arrives, she stops the party to see who does the best job. Everyone calculates the points on all of their collected animals, and whoever has the highest points is approved by the queen and wins the game. The queen is always shuffled into the bottom 12 cards of the animal deck, so you always know roughly when she's going to arrive, but never certainly. If you like the game and you're interested in learning more, you can visit my website or contact me through email. Thank you very much for watching. Tentatively.
Tentatively is like I'm trying to call like that.
Tentative means that is the name right now.
That's what it means? Okay.
Yeah. Should I go from there?
No, from the top, man. Only one take.
Always the top.
Always the top.
Hello.